Princess Catherine isn't successful in her fight against cancer. Is Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, a potential candidate? British citizens are finding Meghan and Harry's invisible children increasingly boring and frustrating. Currently, some people are wondering what would happen if Princess Catherine's treatment for cancer was unsuccessful. I think considering the current circumstances, William is in a very difficult position, more so than he would be usually, because I think his first temptation would be to put his family, his children first, and his duties would have to come second. And he may consider not doing the relationship thing for years, at least until they're older, because honestly, I don't know that he really needs a princess to be effective as a prince. And he's probably going to want to avoid some of the online comments about whomever he chooses to date as being his original true love. My suspicion is that if he were to date and marry somebody new, it would possibly be somebody who he already knows, maybe just an acquaintance. But I do believe this time period could be sped up because we don't even know what type of cancer his father has. But if, God forbid, a situation comes to pass where Princess Catherine passes away, we got to think about the fact that Charles also has cancer. That may put some urgency in his quest to find a new partner, and he might be comfortable with, really. Now, I'm not British, and I don't know the rules of the monarchy exactly. I don't know all of them. But I have a very difficult time imagining that King William searches for Queen in the newspapers and the tabloids if he ends up widowed when he becomes king. And I also have a hard time believing that he would really be happy being a widow for as long as he is king. But I can tell you right now, Meghan Markle can just give up those dreams of ever becoming queen. That will never happen. There's no way he's going to choose her. And honestly, William can't do anything about titles anyway until he is the king. Even if Harry and Meghan were still active members of the royal family, they wouldn't be called the Prince and Princess of Wales. That would be William and Catherine. Charles would never take the title away from William so that he could pass it along to Harry and Meghan just because William's wife passed away. And as for Rose Hanbury, the rumors have got to stop. Look, I know, maybe they were close when they were younger, when they were at university and college. Some people even said at one point in time they dated. I don't know anything about their split, but I don't believe that William is going to want to go back to her. I mean, Rose is also married. She has a family of her own. And I'm sick and tired of these tabloids claiming that Rose has been his true love, not Catherine. It's just not true. It's the whole story of Diana and Camilla again, but the difference is that in the case of William, he married his true love. His true love is Catherine. I also never want to subject his children to that whole drama. I mean, that's the drama that he went through when he was younger. I'm also pretty sure that William and Rose never dated. They never even went to the same schools. They probably knew each other casually when they were kids because, well, their families ran around in the same circles. Her maternal grandmother was actually a bridesmaid at Elizabeth and Philip's wedding, and I'm sure they knew each other, but they were never in a relationship. Come on. Now, supposedly William dated another Rose after Eton, but it wasn't Rose Hanbury. I don't believe that Rose Hanbury and William ever had a romantic history when they were younger, and now she's married, she's got her own family, she's not interested in him either. Honestly, I cannot imagine how annoyed both of them are by all these trolls who are always trying to stir up some drama. I just hope that William won't have to face a future without his beloved wife. Alright, so next up, what do you guys think of Meghan and Harry's children? Well, when I think about them, I just wonder if they're real. And why is all this mystery surrounding them? It's bizarre. If they're real, why is there no evidence of them anywhere? And how come we always see the parents out and about in different locations, traveling, but we never see any sign of even a single child? And on the days that they are seen and photographed, the photos are all blurry, and there's clearly no real interaction between any of them. Unlike George, Charlotte, and Louis, who we get to see openly, even in public, and their photos are also released, and guess what? They're not all blurry and photoshopped. Their parents, as often as they can, take the kids to school. Remember how Meghan said that there's no way that they could live in the UK because the paparazzi would just be hounding her, following her around everywhere, even if she were taking the kids to school? What a joke. I mean, early on she announced that she couldn't possibly go to any events organized for young kids in Montecito or Santa Barbara because she would be immediately recognized. And this is from a woman who calls up the paparazzi whenever she goes to a parking lot. So those kids, if there are any whatsoever, they've got some problems. They're not socialized. And we know that Archofficial, who's going to turn 5 in May, has been turned down by many of the local schools because there's no proof that he's had any of his vaccinations. And I also think there are some serious problems with his birth certificate, too. It doesn't seem like there's any record either of Archie having a passport. But remember, to travel from Britain to Canada and then from Canada to the US, you have to have a passport even if you're a baby. And we can say the same for Elizabeth, who they want us to believe headed over to the UK for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. And then we heard the story of the Queen coming over to Frogmore Cottage, sitting on the floor playing with her, rolling around on the floor with her. Honestly, how on earth could Elizabeth have entered the country without her own passport? It's mandatory. And how could she have gotten back stateside? The latest rumor that I've come across is that supposedly Meghan is going to homeschool Archie. I mean, okay, that's a horrible idea. I don't know if they're planning to hire somebody. Maybe that's what's going on, but even so, it's a terrible idea. Harry can't teach the boy, and neither can Meghan. And I don't think Meghan would even want to commit her time to hanging around her child. Was it not Thomas Markle Jr. who warned Harry to not let her be alone with animals or kids? So this mystery is just dragging on, and if it ends up being proven that neither child was born of Meghan's body, or as the current rumors are circulating, are even Harry's own children, then that would mean they have to be removed from the line of succession. And that would mean that all Meghan's attempts at enriching herself at the expense of the royals is going to go away forever. Now, I've spent way too much of my life actually thinking about these invisible kids, and the only real concern I have left for them is that I hope that they're well taken care of. I hope they're happy, and I hope they do have some friends to play with, whoever they belong to and wherever they live. But, and I repeat, if they exist, they are not living a normal life if they're really living with Harry and Meghan. They're not going out shopping at the grocery store. They don't get to go to the beach. They don't get to go to the park. They don't get to go ride bicycles. I mean, poor little people. Can you imagine if they really are real and they really do live with Harry and Meghan? They're living with a couple of drug addicts who only care about themselves. And Meghan is such an idiot. I mean, her biggest concern in life is making money. She could have made a lot of money if she could have just portrayed herself and her children as a loving family. I mean, they could have been photographed. They could be in catalogs even, wearing matching outfits maybe. And it wouldn't even need to be full frontal, just the garments. And that could have been pixelated. Now, in the past, Catherine has been seen in high street outfits, which have been sold out within just hours. So, considering that Meghan Markle never wants to miss out on an opportunity to make money, she's missed the boat on this one. And that is one of the many reasons that people are very suspicious indeed that there really are any children. Also, why would somebody who worked in Harry and Meghan's house in Montecito, somebody who barely even spoke English, why would this ex-employee have told a reporter that there are no children living in that home? I find it just bizarre that whenever we do see photos of the Invisa kids, their faces are covered up, hidden, and she's always carrying them, pushing their faces into her shoulder or something. The exception was that one time that Harry was holding a little girl during the 4th of July parade. But with Meghan, they don't even walk, and she doesn't use a stroller either. She also looks weak. I don't even see how she's carrying those kids. Let's think about the reason that we see the other royal children out in public. The royals are proud of their children, and they know the public just loves to see them and watch them grow. Harry and Meghan do not have to worry about showing their kids. This is just another delusional lie meant to generate interest in their victimhood narrative, but nobody really cares. Another project that they came up with but couldn't successfully make money off of. Archie and Lilibet, I'm convinced, folks, they do not exist in the way that we are expected to believe they exist. It's about time that the truth come out about their invisible children and also about that McMansion. Did they ever really live there? Did they sell it? Are they leasing it? Have they given it back to the bank because they couldn't pay the mortgage? We are looking at over 5 years of deceit with these two. And honestly, the taxpayers of the UK deserve so much better. They deserve transparency and honesty. This is the main content of today's news. How do you feel about these topics? Is your opinion the same as mine? Please leave me a comment below. And then don't forget to support us with a like, share, and subscription to the channel. Thank you so much for watching the whole video. Goodbye, and I'll be back to see you again soon.